Kaboom.
Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of the AIB Show. This is Amit,
And Dominic.
and today Amit is chatting with you after a red eye, so I'm not 100. And yeah, so Dom's going to run the show. I'm here to support.
Well, first, let's talk about the fact that I got notice for your delay here. 90 minutes early or 2.5 hours? What kind of notice did I get here, bro? 90 minutes?
Hold up. So you're
No,
complaining?
no, hold on. No,
you
no,
gave
no.
me
Yes or
notice?
no? 90 minutes?
Yes,
Yes or no?
90, 90. Yeah, you're
Okay.
complaining that I gave you notice.
Okay. Hey,
90 minutes, not 90 seconds. 90
hey.
minutes.
Kind of planned out the day
You did
around,
not. You
you,
didn't have
you,
a
you've
plan,
been,
Doug.
you've been complaining that we need to be more structured, more professional, do things,
Okay,
not
hold
all
up.
willy-nilly,
Let's chat about
off the
let's chat
cuff.
about this real quick. So I
Right?
told Dominic that we need to have, in essence, we need to just do a little more prep, right? So the point being, because he'll say stuff and then I'll say stuff and then we ain't got more stuff to say, right? So it's one of these things. Now, sometimes things go off in a good situation. We have a good conversation. However, and Dom's like, you know what? You're right. We need to do some prep. We'll make that happen. Get himself on the calendar. So who sends out the calendar, first of all? Amit, right? Which takes, no time at all. But I get
Fake
that
news.
that's what I do.
Except for last week and this week, I've booked every episode. We've done over 100 episodes. I've done them. So
That's a
nice
book.
try.
What do you mean it's a book? It means I go, yo, doing this tomorrow? And
No,
he
no,
goes,
no,
"But
no,
on like a
because you,
Thursday
the
night,
crafty,
right?
won't
what
let me do that. You won't let me say,
Let you
hey,
do
yo,
what?
can we record it? You're like, go look on my Calendly and schedule it.
No.
No, dude,
You
you're
can-
not,
no.
you're not
That's not how
Bill
it works.
Gates.
No, because he'll call me and he goes, hey, how does Friday at 9 work? I don't know, man. Look at my damn calendar because you have access to it.
No.
If you're gonna call me and ask me the same dumb
The
question,
fact that
use a calendar.
I've known you most of my life and I have to look at your damn calendar irks me to no
But
other.
I'm going to look at my own calendar. You're calling me for me to look at my calendar to tell you when you can do that immediately without having to bother me. That's why there's value there. And either way, he does this normally at midnight on a Thursday because for some reason he's insomniac like that. So I wake up on the Friday now and I'm like, yo, I got an easy enough morning. I'm going to chill a little bit, ease into my fitness thing, whatever. Boom, I got a 9 a.m. situation because this cat's all over the place. Then he does no prep, by the way. So he thinks, he goes, oh my God, tomorrow's Friday. That's what it is. And he looks at what I've written down for prep and then utilizes that. So today he's got stuff, right? So today we're going to see what Dominic came up with, right? Because Amit was on the ROAD and we'll see what comes from this, right? But again,
I came up with things not knowing you weren't going to. So I just did my proper due diligence.
Which is the first. That's what I'm saying. Exactly. This is the first. That's exactly my point. All right. Also, he writes it on a piece of paper, which he showed me right now. We have a shared notes thing. So I have no idea what he's talking about. So again, living in his own world. Like, I don't understand. I mean, I'm glad you don't have a team that you work with, yeah? Based on that, you don't, because damn, these people would hate you, bro. Ain't no kind of collaboration at all.
Luckily, no. Luckily, they do all that kind of stuff.
Obviously, because you're not, as evidenced by what we're doing here every week for the better part of 100 plus episodes.
Mm-hmm.
All right,
hypocrisy at its finest. Amit Jagwani.
No, I'll give you all. None of those details were off or false.
All right, question for you. Little off the cuff here. A couple of things before we get into the heavy stuff. You see a white kid on a black basketball team, meaning all black players and a white player. You have an initial thought? Yeah. There's something in general a lot of people tend to do, which I find hilarious because I do it as well.
Yeah, you're like shooter.
Yes.
I mean, you do. Yeah.
Why? as if the white kid can't do anything else, and as if the black kids can't shoot. I don't understand why we all do that.
No, we do that because normally. I knew
it. You see, that's exactly.
No, it's not just. But that's just. It's funny you say that, right? That's one of these stereotypes that's been like. But you go back to the history, right? There you have. The history, like I know NBA history, right? So don't take this for what take this from my perception, right? Because they asked me the question about how I view it. You look at white man can't jump, right? Homie's a shooter, right? He could pass and shoot, right? But he wasn't driving the lane, he wasn't doing whatever else, right? You look at, and that's a movie, obviously, right? But you go to like real life, you go to like you look at Steve Nash, you look at the era that I grew up in, right? John Stockton, you look at all them cats, they're passers and shooters. They weren't people driving the lane doing the aggressive stuff. And then you had all the Europeans coming after that, and those cats were all shooters. Now the game has changed now, and I don't really watch that in basketball now, but I have this stuck in my head. They're passers, yeah. I mean, they would set up, right?
Steve Nash, I think, shot over 50% in his career. I think I said %. But yeah, all the European shooters. But it's funny you say that because I was gonna ask is my son, who obviously
Yeah. So what do they think he
no
is?
one looks at him and thinks he has any color in him or anything. They just look at him as white.
Uh-huh.
He's probably gonna play in an all black team this summer. And I
Okay.
joke around and say, when he walks in the gym, when the team walks in the gym, the other team, without having seen any of the players, him, the black kids play, they're literally going to say, all right, I got shooter, or they're watch out for
That's
shooter,
the way it works. Yeah, that's the way it works.
without knowing whether or not he can shoot.
No, but that's the way it works. It's also like, I mean, like, there's certain things like that, what's going on, right? There's certain sports like that. You're like, all right, this guy's doing this, or this woman's doing that. I'm trying to think, like in there's other sports like that too, right? You have, oh my god, I'm trying to remember. We used to make jokes like this back in the day, right? I'm not saying good, bad, or otherwise. I'm just saying like this is how you identify people on the court when they walked on the court, right? There's a certain we in our generation, majority of white dudes were shooters. Now it's a different game completely, but I don't really watch basketball now. So I've got old school mentality in my head.
Yeah. Because now everybody can be a shooter. When I say can be, like what I mean is
people are trying to be
be
shooters.
Everybody wants to be. That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
3-point game is different, but it's just funny. You're not even into basketball.
I'm not.
And you have the same. That's the response I was getting at.
No, but that's always been the game where you go, all right, this guy's ball handling skills is gonna be questionable, right? Homie could probably dish it off a couple times and whatever, but it's not gonna be. Yeah, it's not. It's not AI. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just you have a different view on what that is.
All right. Thoughts on college education?
What do you mean? If we should have? I think we talked.
No. Let me back it up. Are you satisfied? Are you glad you got one and incurred the debt you did? It's a loaded question. Also, if you do have kids, what are your thoughts on them having to go to college or leaving it up to them, or your preference if they go to college? So just thoughts on a college education overall. Go.
First of all, we're in rerun because we had this talk about you in relation to Jordana. Number one. Number two is we're fine. We'll do it again. I am glad I went to college. Do I use my degree at all? No. Do I use any of the degrees I have? No.
This guy, any of the degrees.
Right? This guy. A degree, son. Yeah, I'm sorry. Do you have the multiple degrees that I have? It's got degrees, son. These degrees are under my bed or someplace. I have no idea where they are. They're on wherever that paper is that says that I have these degrees. I don't know where it is. However, I needed one of them to change my career path back in the day. But I also went about doing things, in my view, the wrong way, because I went about doing things with money as the end goal. I went about doing things saying which job or career, etc., gives me money now, not later, but now. And I think about it all the time too. Like it's funny, if I did this if I had a different group of people around me, I would have gone I wouldn't have applied to the jobs that I applied to. I would have gone like iBanking and been one of those New York iBankers, right? Because that was money now. Hours are relevant. So we can make that happen. And I was putting the hours anyway. So I would have been that guy because that's just the kind of person that I am by way of looking at the end goal that way. If I didn't have the degree that I had in Miami at the time, I would not have ended up where I am now. Had I lived in LA, for example, I could have been doing what I'm doing now without the degree, right? So it's one of those things where the only opportunities that I was aware of were required a degree at the time. Now the game is different, but also now the many of the people at the top of the food chain, if you want to, financially or changing the way we do a lot of things, ain't got a degree. Don't need a degree, but they got the dollars. And the reality is, nobody cares if you had a degree if you got the money, right? And they actually give you props for not having a degree if you have the money. Go, man, this man or woman just amazingly brilliant and pulled themselves out of the bootstraps. And so much so they go, I'll give you an honorary degree now because you've made the money and you didn't need me anyway. So I'll give you an honorary degree, which I find stupid, by the way. The whole honorary degree thing is pointless. But so I needed it. I'm hoping the way things are going right now that if I have kids, that they will make a choice different from mine. Not that I don't want them to go to school. I think that's kind of dope. And I had good experiences. But man, I just done paid student loans. You know what I'm saying? Like that wasn't something that I just done paid it off. But
I still haven't.
You still, yeah, but you're the guy who's been, you're like defer till I die guy over here, right?
Yes, the intro's
That's
racking
what
up.
I'm saying.
Has legit been deferring for decades.
How do you defer? You make money. How do you keep deferring?
Oh, we can talk about this offline because I figured it out. Trust me. No, mind you, the interest adds up, but I'm like, one day if the interest never goes away, you know. But yeah, I'll talk offline.
All right, but then okay, so I have a decision because I don't have any kids. I can talk purely for me, right? And I needed it at the time, but again, like I mentioned, had I had greater vision, or if I wasn't, so I think right now, here's the simple solution. Back then, I was myopic, and meaning not that people know what myopic means, but I was myopic as well in the sense that we didn't have the internet as prevalent as we do now. We didn't have a lot of direct communication what we do now. We didn't have a lot of access to other jobs that we do now. Things that weren't in our direct purview. So I was like, okay, what companies are in Miami that could hire me? And I went down that path. Now, the internet, with working from home, with travel, with whatever, that offers me a lot more flexibility, right? And reach in my aspirations or opportunities. Yeah, the school thing wouldn't become a priority. It was then because I didn't know.
Do you feel like you were disciplined prior to college? I mean, just did college provide any kind of responsibility, or do you think just no, that was working, living, having bills, that's what did that during college and after college? Meaning, like, was there a value in, had you not gone to college, like you're a very meticulous dude, right? Organized. Do you think that's just your personality?
Yeah.
Do you think college brought that out of you, or didn't really do anything to
No,
that?
I made decisions based on dollars and cents, the dollars I didn't have and the dollars I wanted. So I was very conscious of whatever I had, but that also made me risk averse a lot of ways. I'm risk averse in spending. I'm not risk averse in trying new jobs and quitting and going someplace else or whatever. My risk threshold is very, very strange that way.
But
like
nowadays, wouldn't you say, for the last decade, for you at least, yes, money is a huge factor, but also personal enjoyment has now moved into playing some sort of part, even if it's a minor part.
Yeah, but what's funny about that is people who talk about personal enjoyment and having the best and being kumbaya and satisfied and whatever, generally speaking, have money. Not rich. They have enough money where they're okay. You feel me? We're not worried about the bills. When you're worried about the bills, you can take your kumbaya and take someplace else, man. We ain't got time for you because I got bills to pay straight up, right? When I'm working multiple jobs doing whatever back in the day in college, it wasn't kumbaya time. I had bills, right?
Well, that's what I'm saying. Well, okay, so you're saying having more money now gives you the affordability or allows you to say, well, now I can seek some sort of enjoyment from this.
Yeah. Now you set limits. You go, look, I'm not taking calls after this hour. I'm not doing this after certain things. I'm doing not that you're not doing the work. You're still putting in the work. Don't get me wrong. As evidence, I just flew in last night, right? And today's a work day. I'm still at it. You're still putting in the work. The problem is, the difference is, I would say that if it's truly debilitating, you will say something, right? With no fear of repercussion of losing your job or whatever. Like, look, and if not, you find something else because you're never competent, you're never qualified. You have things behind you. You've made acquaintances and friends on the way who can, give you your next shot or assist with your next shot, et cetera. So you're not as concerned. But again, that security to me comes from having I have enough money where I can pay my bills.
And multiple degrees, evidently.
Not evidently, factually.
So I've actually, it is funny, I'm going to say this, you're going to laugh. I've never had a job where I've needed my degree, my
Correct.
one degree.
Correct.
But
you never had a job
here we
until no, you haven't, bro. Like, you started working for a company, and even that, you barely have a quote unquote job. Like, you technically have I don't even, that's also, you have a support system there, but you don't have a job per se. And I don't know why I'm enunciating the B like that.
Yeah. But even so, for my whole life, I've never actually needed the degree.
Okay.
I still have the college debt. And I actually found out this week, and I had to dig into it. Did you know that on a macro level, Ronald Reagan is the reason why we have so much student debt in this country?
I actually heard that in a podcast, actually, not too long ago.
Oh, really? If you remember what it is, I'd like to listen to it. So basically, when he became governor in the 60s of California, right? Nationwide, college education was very subsidized from a state and a federal level. And in California, it basically left about 20% of the cost to students to pay. Right? So coming out of the civil rights era, of course, more darker pigmented individuals were more comfortable expressing their thoughts and demanding rights and wanting to participate in the educational system because that was pressed upon society then and still now that this is a requirement to succeed. Well, people didn't like the darker folk and liberal white folk from using the grants and everything to get college educations, right? In fact, Reagan's education advisor said, we are in this late 60s, we are in danger of producing an educated proletariat. And we have to be selective on who we allow to go and get higher education, meaning no liberal people, no darker people. So how they determined to fix this? Getting people to pay for college through student loans. And then when Reagan became president, he took this national the anti-free educational system national. Here we are today with 44 million people in America having student debt. 44 million people are burdened by student debt because Reagan and his rich GOP cronies did not like this. And that's where we are. So I read an interesting article that said eliminating student debt is not wrong. It fixes a wrong of how we got to this because we were never supposed to be in this place.
Yeah, but you're asking people when now the debt's been accrued. That's like, it's like I shouldn't have put. It's one of these things. It's like it's how to phrase this. There are so many ways in my mind that we could have addressed the education dynamic, and I say could have because we're no closer to addressing it now than we were then, right? And we keep going back to the exact same solutions, right? Because school prices are going up and up and up and up and up. So then by default, the debt's going to keep going up and up and up and up and up for people who want to attend college. However, so I think I think what's going to end up happening is they're not going to address it at all because I think you're going to have, to the earlier point, less people enrolling in school going forward because it's not as needed, right? And unless you're doing like a legit, hey, I need to be a doctor, lawyer, etc., where you engineer and so on, where you have to have certifications and you have to have certain things and you have to go through X number of whatever, which also, by the way, may change as well because, with the advent of tech, like, a lot of these things will change and should change. But beyond that, like if you're trying to start a business and be a business person, go to B school, like the only purpose of B school is to meet people. And if you're going to business school, like a place that you don't want to live at or whatever, if I'm going to business school and it's meet people who are like-minded, who can, and maybe you guys can create something together and do stuff like that. And that matters based on what inevitably you want to do. So if you go to business school with like USC and you want to work in film and TV, there's a value prop there probably. If you go to business school in the Northeast, there's a value prop there probably because you've got Wall Street and whatever right there, and you've got major I banks and so on, which by the way is also changing. But if you go to B school in like, I don't know, I'm throwing out things that are no disparity, but middle America someplace, and you want to do stuff in entertainment or tourism, probably not the right place to go. You feel me? Like it's just it's a networking game.
Is B school an actual thing, or is you just?
No, it is. I said it a few times.
Oh, I guess we have to have multiple degrees to be.
It is what had happened, John. When you go to B school.
Oh my God.
No, but it is a thing. It is a thing. And that's what it's funny. I've actually never said that till right now. I've literally never used that in my entire world. But yeah, it's that is really douchey. But yeah, there was that. There's something else I was going to tell you on that note too. I was talking. Oh my God, who's telling me this? Crap. It'll come back to me in a second. But yeah, there's the value of schools is relationships, right?
What's yeah, okay. It's funny. I tell my kids that about their school now. Just relationships. You never know how this. I said, be nice to people. Always just smile if you're not friends. You never know. You can help people. Could be having a bad day.
Oh, I thought you were another way, but never how they can help.
And then I said, selfishly, shit, you never know how you could help yourself. So it's a win-win.
That's true.
It's
true. But I mean, it's all like it's straight networking, right?
Yeah, 100% network. And that, as you know, knowing me for so long, that's probably one of the biggest flaws in my personality for so long.
Yeah.
I was such an introvert and then just shy and unwilling to overcome that, which took
But
me a
also
long
introvert
time.
in like the weirdest ways. So when this man says introvert, right? Like he's obviously not a small person, and I don't mean that girthy wise. Like he's a tall person, right? So when he walks into if me and him walk into a room, it's gonna cause it's like all right. If we walk in the room, there's people there. There's gonna be a whole what the f kind of dynamic. You have a giant person next to a really small person, right? So and he'd walk in, but he's not quiet. Like if he meets one person by default, or that person comes up to him and says something, and if you can hear this man laughing like 20 miles away, it's laughter, like crazy amount of laughter, right? You can hear what's going on. So he's not shy about being odd and overtly loud and aggressive in his wants, needs, food consumption, etc. Right?
Consumption.
Right? True or false? Man, this man went to a wedding and grabbed 2 plates with no shame and said they're both for him. Actually, no, I think you lied and said one is for somebody at the table, I believe. But either way.
Yeah, I did. Which is weird because I usually have no shame, but
That's
I felt
my
like they
point.
tell me I couldn't have the
So
second
if
plate. So
you're introverted, you'd be very fearful of doing that because it's like, all right, man, people are going to judge me. So you didn't mad about the judgment.
No, the judgment. No, I listen. I'm at a point in my life, and that's one of my biggest goals for my kids, and I tell my wife this all the time.
You're good. Just keep going, guy.
Dogs,
just keep going.
That
Good
my
you paid for
dream
that
is for my
training you
kids
paid
to
for.
not give a bleep about what people think, their peers, society, anything. I'm at that stage in my life. It took me till my early 20s to feel like that.
Nice.
To have no shame, to not give a crap about what anybody thinks.
I wish I had
And
that.
it's such a freedom, such a it can sound funny. My spirit just feels free. I just don't care.
See, I'm not that dude. I care. I don't let a lot of things bother me, and a lot of things generally don't. But inevitably, I still care. There's
like I was last year I was on a call with a really notable developer in South Florida, like insane money, really notable, and he was berating me on the phone, right? And unwarranted, where after the call, I received a call
because you didn't go to B school.
Yeah, right. And the guy was like, "I'm so sorry. That was horrible. He should never." And I was like, "Listen, it is what it is." I thought about responding to him, and I did, but in a simple manner, and just say I disagree with what you're saying, but it is what it is, because there's no point. I don't care. Just because who he is, like I knew I was right, but I'm not gonna go into a debate. He was so off the cuff that what's the point?
See,
He was just rude with his. It wasn't constructive criticism. It was wrong criticism and rude criticism.
But I think that's different, right? That's taking criticism and be like, meh, right? Good, bad, or otherwise.
No, because I will take. I like taking criticism. You know.
No. But I'm saying good, bad, or otherwise. You can take that in and be like, all right, and you come to your conclusion. You're like, all right, this is not beneficial to anybody. I'm not going to get into it. But I'm saying like when you're a kid, like your kids, like the judgment that they're receiving.
It's hard for you. I was like that too. Plus, I was a chubby youth. It made it worse. You know.
So I'm saying for them to be like, to your point,
there's a few kids out there that don't care, and I'm like, my God, they
I don't understand that
already. They figured it out already.
But I mean, that's some parenting that I don't even know about.
No, it's just the way they're triggered. It's odd. It's weird. It's great.
Because I don't need. I don't know. Like it matters to me. I just don't know. It's a little different. It's not like I crave it, but I need it. If that makes any sense, you know. Yeah. It's very different that way. But yeah, real quick, we're talking about the whole like where you live, where you work. The thing I forgot was I heard on a podcast yesterday the amount of empty office space in New York right now. I think equates to it was like 40 Empire State Buildings.
Fully empty or just not back to full
combined square footage empty. Right. So they didn't go into the nuance about fully or otherwise, but independent of that, 40 Empire State Buildings ain't no small situation, number one. Right. And I'm like, the fact that you could have that much empty real estate is crazy. Cause I was just every time I go to New York, it's still not, every time I go back, and I was there a couple weeks ago, just don't love it like I did before. Like, and I loved New York. And
is it because not as much energy or what?
Yeah, it just feels weird, dog. Like, I'm not gonna lie, the vibe is Bridget. I go to restaurants and ain't nobody, they're getting a table, ain't a problem no more. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's different. Restaurants closing like 9 o'clock in certain situations. 9 o'clock, right? On like a Sunday. You know what I'm saying? Like, blew my mind. things like that. Just I was like, what? Like it was just very strange. It is still very strange to me. I mean, it still has a vibe. There's still traffic, still whatever else. It's just not the same to me. And there are other reasons there too, but it was just weird when I heard that, where I was like, man, I can't even imagine what that must be like to have that. Like, because you got to figure this out, right? You're in that game, right? It's like, okay, how do you repurpose this situation? How do you get more value for their? How do you get, is it bring in more of these mixed living situations to make things work and figure out what's there? Like, there's a lot of nuance stuff there that's got to be figured out.
Yeah, I wonder of that empty space, like how much of it is technically still leased, right? Which is it's called dark, whether no one's going in, like the tenant isn't occupying it, but it's technically still leased. So it's not as if there may not be 40 million square feet. Is that what you said?
No, I didn't say. I said how much every square feet it equates to 40 Empire State.
I was gonna say 40 million seems insane.
No, that even
may not actually be technically vacant. Yeah, it's interesting. So many of those companies moved down here to West Palm and to Miami.
Yeah, but even yeah, different situation there. But all right, I digress. I just remember hearing that and I was like, that's crazy.
Crazy, your boy DeSantis. You watched Trump the other day? I didn't watch it.
Now, no.
I think
so that also
was it CNN or I don't know. He had some town hall meeting, I think.
CNN. And so what bothers me about this is twofold. Everybody's like, "Oh my God, I can't be doing this," and then they watch it and I go, "That's why they did it."
I didn't watch it.
Okay. You and I didn't, right? A lot of people I know did. A lot of people in general did, whether out of curiosity or whether out of fandom or whatever. But that doesn't help the cause, right? Like if you're saying, I can't believe CNN did this, and then you watch it, that's why CNN did it. Period. Right? Now, I've heard zero of I think Levy posted a couple of things there regarding some some sound bites or whatever, but yeah, no, I don't give this man any time.
About your boy DeSantis.
I honestly have been like I told you, dude, I haven't gone on Twitter in forever. Every time I go on Twitter, I get angry, but he did something stupid again.
Senate Bill 246.
Okay.
It bans Chinese citizens from buying land in Florida.
Specifically Chinese citizens?
Well, that's what it's being like marketed as, but it also includes Cuba, Iran, North Korea, Russia, Syria, and Venezuela.
Russia? Does man not know what South Florida is made up of?
So they can't buy land, though, not property, land itself. Can't buy agricultural land or land within 10 miles of like military bases, hospitals, things of that nature. DeSantis specifically said, this is a strike at the Chinese Communist Party, which is America's biggest geopolitical threat.
This man's running for president. That's what that did. That's what that means. That's all that means. That's all that is. None of the stuff he's doing is for Florida.
Of course not.
So
look at me. Look what I'm doing. Protect.
I mean, the man put on the too tight flight suit for his commercial and looked like a friggin' chump. And I mean, did you see that commercial when he was running for re-election? Come on now, Google that, bro. Just Google the image. He put on a too tight flight suit. I mean, it's like Gopal putting on a flight suit and trying to be in Top Gun. You know what I'm saying, Dog? It's just not. It just wasn't going to work out very well. Like this man looked like he was carrying his baby with him in the flight suit. That man bothers me to levels I can't express. So I literally stopped listening to that fool.
I'm actually going to be curious because he hasn't announced he's running, right?
No.
The him Trump thing should be interesting.
Yeah, but okay, that I'll watch. Actually, no, that I don't want to watch idiots be idiots.
So you wouldn't watch a debate between him and Trump?
To say what, man? To frustrate me more? To see which one is a dumber person? What's going to happen?
But one of them's not dumb. One of them's dangerously smart and calculated.
Dumb.
No,
because if you're dangerous, smart, and calculated, you're going at this way.
I do not believe he's a dumb.
Well, dumb's okay. Dumb's a strong word. I think that he feels that he's stronger than he is. How's that? He's delusional. Better?
He is. We talking about DeSantis or
both?
Trump? Well, Trump, I think,
delusional.
Trump's an idiot.
Trump's a delusional idiot.
But
DeSantis is a delusional.
Either him or whoever is his main advisor is brilliant because all the stuff he's doing, he's despicable, but it's brilliant.
But I see, and I don't understand. But at least
that's how he got to where he is. That's what he got from barely winning the election,
to winning
to a landslide, and now like a darling favorite across. Like, where do you see people in other states? I was up in last summer, New York, New Jersey. I see people rocking hats that "Make America Florida," right? And like it said DeSantis 2024, like that kind of stuff.
Where are you hanging out, bro?
Yeah. Yeah.
Where are you hanging out?
You live in quite the GOP city there, bro.
Who, me?
Yes.
I live
Los Cubanos.
I live in the most liberal area.
Los Cubanos.
Most liberal 3 blocks.
Mine has a Trader Joe's and things.
You know liberal as hell, man. That's liberal as hell. You got a Trader Joe's downstairs in your building. That's seems liberal.
Another debate that I just saw and I refused to listen to was fruit roll-ups versus fruit by the foot.
I never had fruit by the foot. I had the
because it's garbage.
I would agree
That's
with
why
that.
you read. So which I said, somebody sent it to me. I said, I refuse to listen to this foolishness because fruit by the foot, fruit roll-up is like on the Mount Rushmore.
Yeah,
of like
gangster. Hold up, is fruit by the foot like the bubble tape kind of vibe, like the same kind of dynamic?
It rolls out. Yeah, it's garbage. Doesn't taste the same, different consistency.
Had a strong run though, man.
You know, so yeah.
Bubble tape had a strong run for like, I want to say like 6 months. And then you chew it for 2 minutes and then it goes flavorless and it's pointless. And then you carry this giant container around with the foot of this stuff. Good marketing though. Again, you keep doing this with the mute, dog, so I can't hear you.
I mean, keep doing this. It is the big league chew.
Okay, that was also, so I didn't follow baseball, so I didn't even know what that was.
It's a Dick's now. It's been for years.
But again, that you get like two chews out of this giant bag of grossness. Like what's funny enough, so I bought Fig Newtons. I haven't had Fig Newtons in forever. So I'm on the flight back, and I'm
that sounds disgusting.
You had a Fig Newton?
Yeah.
You think they're disgusting?
Horrible.
Really? I don't think they're that bad at all. But I was on the flight back. I need to figure out, and I was like, I need something to eat just in case for the late night situation, and had a Fig Newton. And I was like, all right, that's not too bad. Better than, I mean, there's nothing on the plane, so I was like, might as well get that. So just kind of hold me over for the AM, right? And are you watching new Ted Lasso, by the way?
I heard the season wasn't good, but I've never seen an episode of Ted Lasso.
That was my point. Season 1 and 2 were really good. Season 3 is kind of like, it's too kumbaya. We're all going to get along together. And I'm like, all right, man, we went from pseudo plausible and wouldn't this be nice if to, all right, this was a really, this is how, this is how the some people just aren't that nice with people and so on, to this part where it's like, I mean, I feel like I'm watching a Saved by the Bell episode. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's like that kumbaya on this dynamic. And I'm like, bro, we've gone too far now. So I'm not loving it at all in that situation, but I am watching, and I'm one episode behind on Succession, and I catch up at that.
I'm caught up.
And then I didn't see last week's because I fly into LA to go, hey, I'm gonna get to the hotel just in time to check out Succession. And I'm like, let me grab an In-N-Out burger on the way there. And by In-N-Out burger, I mean 2. And by 2, I mean 2 double doubles. And it turns out, which I forgot, which I always should remember, In-N-Out ain't the quickest fast food situation. So by the time I got my food, ate my food, Succession was 15 minutes in, and I'm at the hotel, so I couldn't do the rewind. So I just let it ride, and I was like, I'll watch it here.
Just watch it on the app.
I was going to watch it. No, I don't. It's weird, man, because the login I have, it does weird stuff on things, and I don't want to mess with it, and then I can't get back in. So I just let it ride and watch it at home.
The login, eh?
Yeah. My login.
Yeah.
Did you see Guardians yet?
No. I still, my plan is to watch Black Panther this weekend. Not that you have to watch, I'm just so behind on Marvel stuff.
Yeah, I'm going to go on a limb and say there's no correlation, but okay. No, I'm watching Guardians tonight. That's what I was asking.
The last Thor was not good. And what was the movie? Was it Guardians? What was the one? Eternals.
Yeah, that was really
so bad. So I don't know.
But on the other side too, Air, which I'm sure you didn't go to the theater to see.
I did.
You saw it in the theater?
It was beyond amazing.
Oh, so it's on Amazon Prime. So I'm gonna watch it today.
But for like $4 Amazon Prime or like $20 Amazon Prime?
Distributor, so it's free.
What?
Amazon is a distributor, so it's free. They are the producer / distributor.
Oh, so anybody can watch it on
Prime? Yeah.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, so I'm gonna watch.
It's so damn good. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, I hear nothing but good things about it. I just haven't gotten around to it, so I gotta watch
the music, the story, Jason Bateman's hilarious as always. Yeah, it's great.
I gotta check that out. That's one of those things where I was like, it's on my list and I gotta get to, but I have not. On a side note, so Mitt has to do this weightlifting comp tomorrow. First of all, I've been on the road for a little bit. Really haven't done any prep, if you will. So it's not going to go very well for me in the first place. Secondarily, homie sends out a thing today going, yo, so you got to wear, if you have the singlet, which obviously mate ain't got no singlet. He was like, he goes, or, whatever you wear, he goes, compression is key. It does help out a good amount for the lifts. And you have to wear a shirt. And I was like, come on, man. Now the night when we wear a shirt.
Rules are you have to wear a shirt.
Yeah.
It's like a legit competition, huh?
I mean, legit's a strong word, but yeah.
Is it at your gym?
It's at the gym, yeah.
Are there other people coming in, or just
I don't know
of the
that. I
gym?
believe so. Yeah, I believe it wasn't just solely our gym, but yeah, I think there were people coming in from elsewhere.
You gotta wear a shirt, huh?
And I gotta wear a shirt now too. So you trying to make this harder for me?
Kryptonite.
Bruh, it's gonna be problematic tomorrow because it's already hot. And I gotta wear a shirt at 10 a.m. inside the situation in Miami. It's gonna be hot as hell, and a compression shirt at that. I don't even have one of them things. I think I have like long sleeve compression shirts from New York when I used to like need it for New York when I was running outside. So it's a different kind of game now, like the heat tech stuff or whatever. To keep
you don't have like a regular dry fit?
What kind of question is that, man? What am I regular dry fit for?
I don't know.
I may have to use like Gopal's.
You're wearing a shirt there. I spoke to a few of our friends. Went to the Heat Knicks game the other day.
Mm-hmm.
Somebody asked, "Do you rock V-necks?" I said no, but I said, there's V-neck, then there's low V-neck, and then there's like puff, like amidst belly button V-neck. Basically, it just goes all the way down.
Apparently, my belly button's in my throat.
Yeah, evidently.
Freaking more haters, man. Yeah, so much haters. Yeah, this conversation was had between three people? It's three of you. Five people. Yeah, of which average belly size is what?
I don't know.
Y'all can be rolling in the V-neck all willy-nilly. That's problematic, man. That's dangerous.
Mind you, you ever been to the M Citizens Hotel downtown?
No, I know. It opened recently, but no, I've not been there yet.
We were blown away.
You went to the
rooftop? So damn cheap. No, we didn't go to the rooftop. We just, before the game, we did pregame there.
Yeah.
Drinks were like $10 each. And appetizers were $8 to $12. In Miami, we couldn't. Unreal.
No, it's not bad.
Blown away.
Oh yeah, today's when you hear this Friday would have been was game 6 tonight?
No. Game 6 was Friday.
So
there will be
Friday.
game 7 yesterday. There'll be game 7 yesterday, which we won.
Because he's a New York fan who never went to New York till he was like 34. But all right.
Eat better. Justice over order.
All right. We'll chat to you folks.
Wish Amit good luck in his event. Maybe he'll be on time for that, unlike this show. Hopefully he'll be on time for that. It's at the same time, 10 o'clock. Look at that. Who knows? He may call up is it a partner competition or a single?
Bro, you just rambling now, dog.
A partner or a single?
No, it's this weightlifting competition. What do you mean? Somebody else is weightlifting for me?
No, guy. I don't know for teams. I don't know.
I don't know. Again, this man just told me today I got to wear a shirt. You think I have any idea what I'm doing tomorrow?
All right, so single. Hopefully he doesn't hit the guy up 90 minutes before and say,
you have lifters,
can't make it.
You have lifters, right?
I do.
See? Like you have all the apparel and apparatus.
No, I don't have
athlete, and then minus the athlete part.
You don't have lifters?
Why would I have lifters? I shouldn't say it back. I had lifters.
Why would you have them?
I had lifters in New York for like 2 minutes, and then I was like, "This is pointless. I'm not yet. I'm good. It's not going to give me any advancement or advantage."
It does. It does. It's scientific fact.
Yeah, I'm going to be
PRs. You got to do it.
It's mediocre. Meh. I'm still good with that. Mediocrity in weightlifting is where I thrive, so I'm good with that. But all right. On that note,
order, be better.
Enjoy your day. We'll talk soon.
Smile at people,
but not in a creepy way. Like that's a very weird way to end this. Sure, yeah, do that. See how that goes.